We thank you so much for watching Law School Made Easy at Law School Made Easy 256. We ask you to subscribe, to share, and like our videos. So, we want to look at Land Law 1. And in particular, we're going to look at the land tenure system. But like I said earlier in our previous videos, that if you want to appreciate this concept of Land Law 1, don't forget Article 26. So you begin, if a question requires you to discuss the land tenure system, you begin by telling us Article 26, that everybody has a right to own property. And the only time when your property can be taken away from you is when government needs it. And you must be compensated for under Article 26. But Article 26 has given everybody a right to own the property in this country. Okay? Then we cross to Article 237. Now, under Article 237, the land is vested in the citizens of Uganda, and it shall be held into land tenure systems. Under Clause 3 of Article 237, land is held in Uganda under 4 land tenure systems: Customary, Mailo, Freehold, and Leasehold. So these are the only forms how land can be owned. And then from there, you now cross to the Land Act. Under section 2 of the Land Act, it says that subject to section 237, land shall be held into tenure systems, namely Customary, Mailo, Lease, and Freehold. So those are the only 4 ways how land can be held in Uganda. So Article 226 gives you a right to own property. But if you are owning land, it must be owned according to those customs. So I want to discuss one by one. Under the Land Act, they have been discussed. Under Section 3 of the Land Act, we have the Customary. Then subsection 2, the Freehold. Subsection 3, the 4, Mailo land. And finally, subsection 5, the Leasehold. So we want to look at these. And I want to, in this video, to try and summarize for you each one of them, what is entailed under each one of them. So, if you want to discuss customary law, you discuss it in line with section 27 of the rights of women, children to own land. Now, the customary system of land tenure. This is normally in rural areas. For example, Freehold and very many others. Now, under customary tenure, land is owned communally. Land is owned by clans. Land is owned by tribes. Land is owned communally. Even when there is a dispute on land, they use tradition, practices, and customs to solve that land. Section 27 of the Land Act has prohibited discrimination of children, women from owning land. And they tell you that much as there is customary land tenure, they should not discriminate against women and others in terms of owning land. Okay? So this is the type of land which is normally in rural areas, owned by the community, and it can be held in perpetuity. It can move from one person to another it can be held in perpetuity. That is the gist about the customary land system. You must also appreciate that it is very hard to sell this type of land because you need to trickle down permission to be able to sell this type of land. So that is what we mean by the customary land system under section 3, subsection 1 of this Land Act. Let's go to the freehold system. Now, under the freehold system, this is the most secure land ownership, granting you indefinite rights to use the land. You can lease, sell, do everything with this system. There are no restrictions in it. We are saying in freehold land, you can sell. Okay. It is oftentimes attained by converting land from leasehold or customary tenure. When you convert from leasehold and customary tenure, what you get is the freehold. What I missed to tell you on the customary, it can be converted to freehold through surveying and documentation. That customary land can be converted to freehold through surveying and different documentations. Okay? So, that is what we call free land. You have right to sublet, to lease, to sell. You enjoy it. And this is the type of land people are enjoying today. You are the controller. Remember we said under customary, there are community values. Land is owned communally. Land is owned by tribes. Land is owned by different clans. Okay? So that land is free. It's not free, the customary. But freehold, the world freehold. You are in your world, enjoy the land the way you want. Use it the way you want. Okay? But the most details are in under section 3, 4, section 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we cross to the Mailo land. This one is a unique system. It is particularly in Uganda and some bits of Ankole. And this type, land is owned in perpetuity by the landlord. Now here, under Mailo land, land is for the landlord. It is held in perpetuity by the landlord. The tenants only have a right of occupancy. Okay? Right of occupancy and usage rights. You come and rent the land, you use it. You own a rent on it. You have occupancy and usage of right. You use it, but it belongs to the landlord. And the landlord holds it in perpetuity. When I don't forget, I will hold a video about the Bibanja the other day, which was confirmed in Uganda. Bibanja titles. And then you will continue to appreciate this type. Okay? Mailo land is held by individuals or entities like Uganda. Okay? And these days there are titles which have been given there. So that is Mailo land. It is for the landlord. or an entity. It is not yours. You, the tenant, you come and use the land for the time agreed, okay? You have rights of occupancy and usage. Okay. So, and it is mostly in Ankole, Buganda here, largely in Buganda area. So that is what we call the Mailo land. Then finally, we have the leasehold. Now, in some of our videos, we shall look at the history of these things, land tenures. Then I think I'll have a video about the 1975 land decree by Amin, and then we begin to appreciate. But let's go to the leasehold. This involves renting land for a defined period, particularly 49 and 99 years. Okay? And these leases can be only granted by the state or by landowners. The foreigners cannot own land in Uganda. They can only own land through leases of 99 years. Look at section 41 of the Land Act, clause 6. It talks about foreigners owning land under lease land title, land tenure. That foreigners, here you come and you are given, you rent, you are given land for a specific period of years, 99 years. You have to renew. Remember, we said we can convert this. A question would be, what happens if the foreigner dies, ABCD? All of that, when I'll make sure I also discuss a video on section 49, which talks about the foreigners owning land. And then we go into the depth of that. But for now, we are giving the meaning of this land tenure system. Under leasehold, the landlord gives you a defined period, specifically 99 years of ownership of land. And this can be granted by the state or the landlord. And you, the tenant, you pay rent or any other fee in that described for the use of that land. If it is held under leasehold, you pay money to be able to use that land. The state or the landlord gives you time, 99 years, you pay and then you use that land. So those are the summaries of the land tenure system. But of course, as I discuss the history, section 41 and others, we shall begin to expound on many of them. So we thank you so much for watching Law School Made Easy. Subscribe, share, keep liking our videos. Until next time, thank you. Cheers.